As we enter 2026, new labor market data is showing signs of slowing momentum in the U.S. economy. January numbers point to weaker job growth and a noticeable increase in announced layoffs, suggesting that businesses are becoming more cautious than they were a year ago. The U.S. economy depends heavily on consumer spending, which makes up nearly 70% of GDP. Consumer spending, in turn, depends on job stability and steady income growth. That's why labor market data is one of the most important signals economists and investors watch. According to the January ADP report, private employers added approximately 22,000 jobs. This was below expectations and continues a pattern that began late last year. October 2025 saw significant job losses, followed by very limited growth in November and December. When these months are averaged together, overall job creation appears flat to slightly negative. This suggests that hiring demand is no longer accelerating. Instead, many employers are choosing to pause expansion plans while they reassess costs and future demand. Layoff data reinforces this picture. In January, companies announced more than 108,000 planned job cuts. This represents a sharp increase compared to both last month and the same period last year. While this level of layoffs does not automatically signal a recession, it is unusual during periods of strong economic growth and indicates rising uncertainty among businesses. Most of these announced cuts were concentrated in a few key sectors. Transportation accounted for the largest share, driven largely by restructuring and contract changes within logistics and shipping companies. Technology followed, as firms continued cost control efforts and efficiency improvements after years of rapid expansion. Healthcare also saw notable reductions, largely due to rising wage and supply costs combined with fixed reimbursement rates. Together, these sectors made up the majority of announced layoffs, showing that the slowdown is not evenly distributed across the economy but focused in areas facing margin pressure and structural change. Another factor mentioned by some companies was increased use of automation and technology. While automation-related layoffs still represent a relatively small portion of the total, the trend is being closely monitored, particularly in administrative and white-collar roles. This reflects longer-term efficiency efforts rather than sudden disruption. Job openings data adds more context. Over the past year, the number of open positions has declined noticeably. Fewer job openings usually signal that companies are slowing hiring plans before unemployment rises in a meaningful way. This pattern is common during periods when economic growth cools but has not yet turned negative. Unemployment remains moderate, but wage pressures are becoming uneven. Lower-income workers are more exposed to rising living costs and slower wage growth, which can affect overall consumer spending. Higher-income workers, so far, appear more insulated. This labor data also matters for monetary policy. The Federal Reserve continues to balance inflation concerns with signs of economic cooling. Officials have emphasized that future decisions will remain dependent on incoming data, particularly labor market conditions. At the moment, the labor market is no longer a strong source of acceleration for the economy. Hiring has slowed, layoffs have increased, and businesses are operating more cautiously than they were during the post-pandemic recovery. This does not guarantee a recession. However, it does suggest the U.S. economy is entering a more fragile phase where growth depends heavily on whether consumer spending remains resilient. As new reports are released, trends in job growth, layoffs, and wages will remain key indicators to watch. If you find data-driven economic updates like this helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below.